So that clarity should be there. Fine. Now the next thing, speaking about Spring AI and the field of AI. From technical perspective, let's understand few things now. Okay, there you go. Firstly, AI is not something new. It came in the year somewhere around 1950s itself, 1950s and so on. For the first time, this word was coined, artificial intelligence. And the basic thought there was that machines, if they can have intelligence like human beings, they can do great things. This is how the initial thought process was, artificial intelligence. The way human intelligence is there, like that machine code, robots code, let's try to give intelligence. They can do a lot of things for us. That thought initially was planted around the year 1950s itself. And then a lot of explorations, research, and companies of the world started working in that manner. And a few decades in that line, they started creating systems called as machine learning systems. Okay. When we do our traditional programming, let's say my method, you do a my method kind of coding. And here you are doing a int A and int B, int A and int B. And let's say you're simply doing a return A plus B. So this is fixed level coding. Every time for whatever values of A and B, the program will always run in this manner only forever. That is one kind of programming. Okay, machine learning programming is different. They started thinking, guys, a lot of research in the world happens by studying natural world. Okay, aeroplane was created because somebody saw, okay, the birds can fly. Can we replicate this design somehow? So looking at the real world, lot of humanity innovations happen or inventions happen. So some smart people, they started thinking, okay, how does a child learn something? Because their aim was to build an artificial intelligence. They started studying human beings. How does a newborn baby learn something? It is not fixed programming. As a human being, we don't think like in fixed terms. We evolve. We know that A plus B, we can do that. But if we want, we will do A plus B plus C also by our own choice, knowing that whether it is wrong, right, doesn't matter, but we can upgrade. So that's how they started building machine learning programs. So that is not structured, fixed way of programming. What they did was they trained machines in this manner. Okay, we will give them a lot of information. The way small child is there, you show child, okay, this is car, this is car, this is car, this is car. Next time, when he sees something similar, child says, oh, that is a car. So dynamically, intelligence started forming. That's how they built machine learning algorithms. Machine learning. You feed so much of inputs to the machine, it starts recognizing patterns in that input and then starts identifying, oh, that is car, that is dog, that is cat, that is something, something. So it's a different style of programming itself. It's not fixed. It is not structured. It is, we will give you a lot of data. So as a machine, you learn and you then decide more intelligence. So AI is the base field which further evolved into machine learning, which is just dynamic. It's not static way of coding. It has a lot of algorithms and coding which allows the machine to grow their intelligence, to read patterns and then predict what is happening, what is not happening. And this came also many decades ago. It is not something recent. Okay. Then what happened? This field further, the base concept is that only, how can machine think like human being? How can machine think like human being and operate like human being? This is the base artificial intelligence concept. That field itself evolved into machine learning kind of program. So machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Next, while people were trying to now train the machine to dynamically think, analyze, and do patterns by feeding a lot of data, a new field emerged, which was nothing but deep learning. Okay, deep learning. How this deep learning is very interesting. What they did in deep learning was they tried to replicate, okay, a human brain. They studied, acha, how does a human brain really do things? Can we somehow put that kind of thinking mechanism in our algorithms? They try to replicate a human brain, and for that they created a system. The way our brain system is there. Internally, there are nerves. There are a lot of points where these nerve connects. If you look at any brain diagram, internally there are a lot of neurons and connections. Whenever some question is asked, some part of your brain is activated, which is a reasoning brain, logical brain, and it will respond back, and then you speak. Some emotional parts of your brain is different. Okay, anger emotions, hate emotions, happy emotions are processed separately by your brain. Logical part is separately by your brain. So in your brain there are a lot of sections, and depending upon the state, these sections are activated, and then they process some information and give some output back. So they studied that, and they said, can we put something like this in machines? And that is where, while deep learning systems are nothing but, they introduced a software term called as neural networks, which is nothing but built on top of this brain related capability itself, having a lot of neurons inside, lot of connections. The way the brain thinks, like that they took it to the machine level, and it was heavily successful. As part of this new deep learning related systems, that is where fields like natural language processing, NLP, evolved. Okay, vision processing. Okay, nothing but looking at vision, images and cameras, machines can understand what is this, what is that. These kind of systems started evolving because this deep learning came into this world. Okay, so, and then these things were enhancing time and time again. And there's a lot of these big companies, technology companies, like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and these other guys, Facebooks and all, they were continuously trying to research more on this. Even IBMs and all, they had these kind of models since long time, not from now, since long time. They have these kind of AI systems, machine learning related models, and they kept on enhancing. Then what happened is, okay, Google and some of the companies, while they were doing the research, what they realized, okay, if you train these kind of deep learning models and machine learning models with huge amount of input data, means train them by huge amount of input data and at a very faster processing speed, then a new kind of intelligence emerges, and that is nothing but Gen AI, generative AI. When you train these kind of systems with huge amount of information, huge information, and lot of this brain neural connections with high processing power, then these models become different. The same algorithms, they start becoming different. What? Nothing but they start generating new things. Means maybe we did not train them to do that. Still, machines can start generating new things, new text, which was never fed into their system. They will start having like more human intelligence. They can come up with new text which was not there. They can come up with new code which was not there earlier. They can come up with new, maybe novels which does not exist, new music which does not exist, kind of self-intelligence. This is what Google initially came up with some examples. While they were training some of the data with huge amount of data, they found this intelligence ticked to some different level, and they published a paper around this on internet. And those paper, these all companies, OpenAI and other guys, they were studying, and they were also doing some kind of research and exploration in this. Immediately this OpenAI built up around what this Google was committing it can happen. They took the data across the globe, OpenAI. They downloaded, they scraped the internet for massive amount of data, and they fed all that into their AI models. And that is where emergence of ChatGPT happened. Kind of an intelligence. You speak and it can form things, statements, the way we chat with these kind of systems now. This is never fed into their system. But they can now recognize patterns. They have a lot of code. A kind of intelligence came to these AI models because huge amount of data was there, and ChatGPT, OpenAI, these kind of system cashed upon this. Okay. And what is this chat GPT? What is this chat GPT? It is nothing but for a kind of, you can chat with it. So it is happening in a natural language, human language, natural human language. And GPT is nothing but generative. It can generate new things, new images, new movies, okay, new things which does not exist. It was never trained on that, but it will observe the pattern on the input data, and then it can predict and generate new things for you. So it is GPT, generative, pre-trained, okay, transformer. That is the chat GPT. You can chat with it in a normal human language, and it is generative in nature. It can come up with new things for you, and it is pre-trained. Means in order to build these kind of Gen AI models, lot of data across the web was fed into it. Lot of neural network parameters were set. These parameters, people say, right, for building these kind of Gen AI systems, billions of parameters are required. Nothing but those many number of neural connections they created while training the data. So huge data, billions of parameters were corrected, like the way brain works. Brain has huge number of connections. They simulated all that, and then the emergence of chat GPT kind of system happened. Natural human language they can understand, and they're all pre-trained. Means these models that we talk about, huge data, huge processing power, huge time is required to train this model, so that when we speak something to it, it responds back to us. And that is why it is called as pre-trained. And technically these models, they are called as, internally they use transformers. These are some bunch of algorithms which is basically processing the data, and they're all pre-trained. So this is how the field of Gen AI started emerging, and people were like taken up by surprise. From the first time, within 2-3 weeks of chat GPT launch, the entire world was shocked. Okay, what kind of all these things are. Again, some people say this key, not sure to what extent this is true, but there is a discussion happening ki Google already knew all these things, but it did not build softwares around it, because the main model of Google was search based. It was making revenue. Google search engine, that was the primary source of revenue, and they said if links don't come, ads don't run, okay, then automatically if AI itself is giving all the output, then the search will be impacted for Google. So again, not sure to what extent this is true, but there is a discussion like this. Google knew all this, they built something around it, but they never really build it out to the market, because their main business will be impacted. But not sure to what extent there is truth in this, but definitely Google search was impacted after the emergence of chat GPT kind of systems. That is generative AI. And then this field of generative AI, you can check it out here. Spring guys started realizing ki bhai, Java, Spring, you have to catch up with the AI related emerging world. Otherwise, all of a sudden, AI systems where people kept Python. You want to do this kind of model building, MLs, deep learnings, neural network based systems. Python was the primary language for that. And then automatically people started thinking, that means Java will lose its market. Spring will lose its market, even though it is fast, it is robust. But these kind of AI based systems, they have a lot of libraries. Currently, we are adding so many pom.xml libraries. For these AI kind of systems, lot of libraries were implemented in Python, and those kind of programming, R programming, Python programming. So Java said, ki, nahi, we will be outdated if we don't adapt to this changing world and give AI capability to Java based applications. So that is where Spring, which is the market leader in Java frameworks, they led to developing Spring AI. That we will add the support of AI into Spring based ecosystem. Okay, Java people should also be able to compete with this changing world and the emerging way of AIs. And that is where, on their website itself, spring.io, they started sharing information about all this. For example, if you click on this generative AI, they are quickly sharing some of the views there. Okay, businesses everywhere are looking to transform their applications by adding Gen AI capability, okay, to them, and multiple kind of applications are around that. Okay, what is generative AI? Generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence. Please note, all this is nothing but the same. The field of artificial intelligence has expanded into these roles. Artificial intelligence field, a subset of that is machine learning, a subset of that is deep learning, a subset of that resulted into generative AI. So they are all related to the same artificial intelligence field. This is what they are saying. Generative AI is a type of AI that can create new content. Means it is trained with a lot of things. It read so many patterns. Okay, now the brain, it starts behaving like a human brain and coming up with new content such as text, images, videos, code, whatever you say, it can come up with those things. Okay, things that make GenAI unique are human language as an interface. NLP based support is there. You can talk to it in a human language, and there are multiple other things. Relevant output, whatever you ask, accordingly it responds back by thinking and responding, right? Plus, it is pre-trained model. Every time you want to work with it, they don't have to train the models. They did already that work by feeding in a lot of data, and then those models they created, which the world is using. And continuously, these guys keep providing new and new models time to time again. So what are these new models? Every new model means they are training it with some kind of data, some kind of parameters, and trying to improve the capability. And then they say, oh, this is a new model. Use this new model. It has more capability than the previous ones, right? So that is what pre-trained models. And you can even access it via web APIs. They're exposing some APIs. You can call that and you can get the results. What does this mean? The way we said, we want that our error message, we want to call ChatGPT based system. So in the real world somewhere, ChatGPT based APIs are available, and your application can talk to those APIs also, and then they will run their AI model, check whatever input you're asking, and then they will respond you accordingly. AI intelligence can happen to you. And that is what is, even they have provided web API based support. Okay, why Java developers should care? Java log apne thoda sa, when these MLs and all was happening, MLR programming, it was primarily Python. Those kind of guys were doing that driving game. Libraries and support was coming back. Okay, Java people realized, oh, we should be able to match up with the changing trend. Otherwise, problems will happen. Java will become outdated. So that is what they are trying to give a warning also to the Java developers. Okay, don't think all this we should not enter into, because this is the future. So a Java developer should think in the lines of AI as well, if you are planning to have it in career. Java remains one of the most powerful programming language in the enterprise. It is stable, secure, scalable, and unmatched. The engine, GRE engine, is super fast. Java runs things absolutely greatly. Memory management, it's brilliantly done. Many programming language cannot beat that kind of speed. Okay, so it is great for application development, but AI support is required for the Java systems. Okay, because AI is changing the world. However, integrating AI capabilities, okay, such as now AI is having multiple features: RAG feature, retrieval augmented generation, multi-model use cases like image recognition, predictive analysis. Now these are some systems or features what AI can do, has often required the teams learn new skills or switch to other platforms. This is what they are saying. Okay, all these are the big features of AI, and Java was not directly supporting that kind of models or in the form of Spring or other things. So for upgrading into these new things, people or the Java developers were also switching the skills and going to other programming language and other platforms. And for that reason, they came up with Spring AI. So in order to solve this kind of problem, where Spring is not having much support, Java is not having much support on AI-based things, so that is where they came, okay, generative AI with Spring, and they called that project as Spring AI project. Okay, so guys, what is Spring AI? Spring AI is the robust extension of Spring framework. Whatever we learned in our Spring, okay, Spring Beans, Spring Boot, right? Auto configurations, starter dependencies, DevTools related support, all that concepts are further extended, and then Spring AI is further emerged. So it is built on top of your Spring and Spring Boot. Okay, it is designed to empower Java developers to create AI-based applications without need of excessive reskilling. Means with minimal learnings, you can work with AI features now. After Spring AI emerged with very minimal support. If you are already aware of Spring, Spring Boot, annotations, auto configurations, Spring Beans, dependency injections, lookups, if you are aware of all these basic stuff, starters, auto configurations, and all those drama, it's very easy for you to work with even AI support now. Just a bit small upskilling will be required, but easy to adapt. So it is designed to empower Java developers to create application, AI-based applications without the need of extensive reskilling, by leveraging the familiarity and the strengths of the Spring framework. And Spring AI democratizes access to sophisticated AI features. Nothing but now, as the field of AI is emerging, lot of things are happening there. Lot of things are happening. Much more capabilities are there. Much more features are there. Now, what Java is doing, Java Spring AI, they studied what are these commonly used and major impactful features. They started in this area first of all. Sophisticated AI features which are commonly used and widely being accessed and changing the AI related world, and they somehow provided capability. Using Spring AI, you can work with all those popular AI features, making it easier for developers to build intelligent applications. So know that in the field of AI, and even in the field of Gen AI, where they are generating new stuff, there are a lot of features. What Spring AI is doing is they are focusing on some of the major dominated features, and slowly and steadily more capability is being added. So as this AI world further evolves, people are actively working to evolve even Spring AI related capabilities. So Spring AI does not give you the entire AI, but it gives you great number of features which are common for the AI based stuff. So please be aware of that, and it will evolve, it will change. Right now, it is just in the beginning level. What does it mean, beginning level? If you go to this, Spring AI, they created a separate project, Spring AI project. Currently, the official release is just version 1. So they build some features and capabilities by studying what kind of AI features are available, and they have launched it as Spring AI version 1.0.1. And then this will keep evolving. Further sub versions will come, minor versions will come, and then this will evolve 2, 3, and then with every version, it will upgrade. Maybe something which works right now, it is at a very beginning level. Once you are able to comfortably work with the current systems, and in the beginning level also, they included a lot of features. What are those features which they support? They mentioned that big list here. These are all primary capabilities of an AI based system. So let me just put these links so you can grow around with it. So what is Spring AI support? So you can read more information from this place. Please know that it is going to keep changing. It is very dynamic right now. Version 1 is there. Support for very major AI features is available. You can find it here. Spring AI overview, the major feature support which they are supporting. And yes, it is going to add more and more capability. Okay. Now, if you want to learn more about this, your documentation itself is the place. They wrote very great documentation. So your starting point to learn all this should be Spring documentation itself. They have explained with diagrams, with theory, with a lot of information. So how you can get to the documentation? Just click on learn and reference docs. If you click here, you will reach out to the documentation where everything they have written about AI, everything is available there. Everything is available there. So this is your starting place. Just to go, and this is where all your documentation is going to happen for learning new things. Okay, and they go right now, even though it is providing so many things, one common use case is it helps you to work with multiple AI models. Okay, it helps you to work with multiple AI models. Now, please understand, the field of AI is so much evolved, and then GenAI came, and initially ChatGPT was really like came very like big changer of the world. But slowly, so many other companies, they started giving their own Gen AI models. Okay, what is Gen AI basically? These are some AI models. AI models. What is AI model? Some pieces of software, intelligent software, which is trained on huge amount of data, and they can create new things. So what is Gen AI? It is nothing but some form of code, logic, software program, whatever you call it, logic, software program. People just start calling them as AI models. Okay, which is trained with huge amount of data and on billions of parameters. What are these parameters? Like brain connections, neural network connections, billions of parameters. So it can make smart decision, and that can generate new content. That is nothing but Gen AI. So that's one concept. ChatGPT started around it, but very soon, many companies, even ChatGPT has given multiple AI models. Multiple AI models are being released by ChatGPT itself. And further, many companies have released their own AI models. And as part of this, if you just click here, AI model providers, just check it out. Okay, this diagram contains multiple AI model providers. They have given some nice, and Open API is one of it. Ollama is another one. Okay, Nvidia has some AI models also. Okay, so there are a lot of Hugging Face. All these are multiple AI models. Anthropic, again, AI models. Right now, what happened is, since they started growing so much, these AI models, automatically some category of AI models started happening. Okay, different AI models do different kind of work. So there are multiple categories of these Gen AI models. Categories means you can something call it as multiple types of AI model. Because there are so many companies, people are thinking, oh, Gen AI say this can happen, that can happen. And they came up with multiple types of Gen AI models. One of the type is LLM, large language models. Large language models. Nothing but language model. You speak to it in a natural language, NLP style, natural language processing. And it is trained on huge data set and huge parameters. The information of the web is fed into it. So that is one type of Gen AI model, nothing but large language models, LLMs. Okay, there is another variation to this called as SLM, small language model also is available. Small language model. It is trained with less amount of data and less kind of parameters, less size. Okay? So large language model is there, small language model is also there. Next, along with that, there are a lot of, let's say, image generation models. Next, there is video generation models. And that is where all these other models are coming. Sora and this Delhi, you just type and it can create videos for you. It can create images for you. Google has recently, I think yesterday or day before itself, has created some very amazing kind of AI, which is generating beautiful images. So all these more and more models into different categories. Large language model basically deals with input is text and output is also text. Language is the major. Input is text or code. Output is also text or code. For this, input could be, let's say, text or images, and output is going to be images. Sometimes even this image and video capability they are adding. So the point that I'm trying to make here is, in the market, multiple models started emerging. There could be something like, okay, text to speech, audio conversion. Next, reverse also possible, speech to text. Now different types of models are coming in picture. And again, in the Spring documentation, they have done a very good job to explain you these things. For example, this is the starting place where we said references are available. I would highly recommend every one of you to spend time in this AI concepts section, where they are explaining these things very nicely with examples. And if you don't understand something, then work with ChatGPT to get more clarity, but understand all this in the times of AI, because in future, every developer should become an AI developer. You should be able to work with all of these models, understand their purposes, do coding with it. It will be a must-have skill, not optional anymore. Every backend developer, front-end developer, full stack developer should transform themselves into AI developer. Otherwise, you might just get outdated. So Spring has done that initial work for you so that you can get started easily with it. You don't have to get confused with how big all these things are. Not required. Spring has simplified it. Getting started, Spring is doing it. Once you master all these, then go to the next level, because next level exists. Maybe then you might have to switch to Python or something else to get to some other advanced features till the time Spring adds that capability here. But getting started door, Spring is creating for you. Okay, so guys, definitely go through these AI concepts. Everybody must have. Okay, so these are AI concepts which they have summarized. As part of this concept, they are saying, okay, there are different types of models. Okay, the following table categorizes several models based upon their input and output. So yes, there could be something like large language models. It is one type of model in GenAI category which can generate something. Basically, it takes language or code as the input and it generates the same thing as output. Furthermore, now they are enhancing LLMs so that they can even consume. In the earlier versions of ChatGPT, only text you can do. Now you can upload images also, you can upload audio there, you can do videos. So they are enhancing LLM capabilities also, and that is making it multi-model. Earlier it was only text-based communication. Now they are growing this LLM capability to even support all these other things. Not just as input, even in audio forms, you're getting those kind of capabilities. Okay, next, image generation models. It will take some text or image as input, generate you image video output. Text to voice, voice to text. Take audio inside, convert it into text. Take text inside, convert it into audio. These are different types of Gen AI models. Everybody is capable to generate something new. So that is Gen AI. They can generate new content. So they are trained with huge data and they are study those patterns. And whenever you are asking something, it uses their intelligence to come up with something amazing. Okay, and that is what it is there. And guys, in order to create these kind of models, there are something called as embedding models. How these systems, how these AI models are created, how they are trained on huge data, that training is happening based upon embedding models. Okay, so that is what Spring AI is providing some support for embedding models also. Kind of training this kind of models, some support for that is also provided. But core libraries again of Python kind of programming is there for training this. TensorFlow and some other kind of models are there by which you can train these basic transformers. So just observe this. AI currently supports models that processes. Spring AI supports. So AI is a big field. In that, Spring AI currently supports models that process input and output as language, images, audio. The last row in the previous table, embedding wala, okay, which accepts text as input and output numbers is more commonly known as embedding text, okay, represents the internal data structure used in AI model. Okay, so basically this last one is how AI models are trained and prepared. What these kind of models do is they take some input and generate some numbers. Okay, they have a lot of concepts behind the screen, like they convert it into tokens, and with regards to tokens, then model is doing some kind of processing with that. So even I think you can go to this what OpenAI tokenizer. There is this kind of a website. Okay, OpenAI tokenizer, platform.openai.com/tokenizer, and they just provide it. Okay, when you are, let's say, speaking to AI, let's say you are speaking to AI, internally it converts it into some kind of tokens, your characters. So for processing, now there is a way by which these AI models internally work. They take your data, they convert it into tokens, like total 391 characters broken down into 117 tokens. And if you see, there are numbers which represents this kind of data. And these kind of systems are nothing but coming from this last area, embedding based models. So generating how internally it operates. Okay? AI has support for embedding to enable some more advanced use cases. So to some extent, Spring AI has also included this, but again, yes, in future more and more capability will happen. So what do we learn from this piece? Okay, Gen AI, multiple models are available. LLM is one of the model. Like that, several other model types are also there. And Spring AI is providing support for major commonly used models of the current time. Okay, if you want to see full list of AI models that this guy is supporting, just observe on the left hand side. Okay, if you click on this, I think here we opened it. Just observe. These are models. Okay, if you just click on this left hand side, these are models. You expand it. All the models like chat models. Chat means kind of LLMs. You can chat with them, give them input, text or something. They will respond back to you. Chat-based models. Just observe these many chat-based models Spring AI is supporting. So they have grouped it. Embedding models. We just now saw where they are used for internal trainings and some advanced features of AI. So there are some embedding models also available in the market. Again, OpenAI has given some embedding model also. OpenAI has given some chat-based models also. So they have categorized all these models into these things. Chat-based models, embedding models, image models, audio models, and even some moderation models. So I'm also exploring all these things right now. But yes, I'm giving you the sources. So spend time on Spring documentation to grow your knowledge in all of these times. And in your resume, along with your full stack skills, definitely include this AI related skills. Put it up there. So once you get this common understanding after today's session, spend time over this weekend, 2-3 days, may resume, may definitely put this today's use case, Spring AI. How did you use it in project? Put this use case, and then during interview time, share all these things. Use case you add, then add about LLMs, use these some of the names, try working with multiple models, do some experiments with this programmatically, not as a user, can you go to browser and then use it? No, programmatically work with some of these models. There are some open source models available. Once you do that experiment, resume, put names of these models, call it Gen AI, put LLMs, put transformers, pre-trained, give away words, interview may automatically, wow, this guy knows stuff, right? So please work on that further. So what these guys have done it, let me just take on the left hand side model section. They have grouped all these models, chat models, embedding models, image, audio, and some moderation models. And for our use case, we just need to work with the chat model. So what is a chat model? You ask it some question and something, it responds back to you. Now, depending upon your use case, you have to use the right models. So that is what is the left line. Okay, Spring AI grouped multiple AI models into, let's say, chat models. This is current. They will continuously change because it's very beginning level. Embedding models, image models, audio models, and then comes moderation models. So we are going to work for our use case. We use chat model. Okay, nothing but you ask it a question, you give this kind of a JSON to it, and you ask, give me a one-liner explanation. The model will do that for you. Okay, now let's go further. If you expand this chat model, there are so many type of chat models. All these things can be used for chat model generations. So many models are available. If you click on this chat model comparison, so based upon multiple factors, they have tried to compare multiple chat models. So get comfortable with these kind of names. These are models given by different companies. Anthropic has given cloud. OpenAI, which is running under Azure, is different. Azure OpenAI is there, and just OpenAI is also there. Just OpenAI, directly you are talking with OpenAI. Azure OpenAI, so Azure plus OpenAI, they have come up together and built a model for you, which is running in Azure related system. Okay, so like this, there are multiple other names. Google Vertex AI, Gemini, Grok, Hugging Face, Mistral AI, Minimax, and there are by NVIDIA, Ollama, and all these are some of the popular names. Amazon Bedrock. What is this Amazon Bedrock? In AWS, these kind of models. So you can use AWS service. Amazon created a Amazon Bedrock kind of service. Okay, we need to, yeah. So they created Amazon Bedrock service for hosting multiple types of AI models. Okay, Amazon Bedrock. Multiple types of AI model support is available there. Okay, so once we log in and then they give the option, you can just buy whichever AI model to use and you can work with it. So now directly you can talk to the models or via cloud providers also, that kind of support is there. So what are the options? You can directly talk to these AI models. Also, these AI models are supported as cloud services. Nothing but in Amazon, in Azure, in GCP, as a service they are also being offered. So depending upon whether you want to do chat based or embedding related systems or image, audio, you need to use the right model, and there are multiple ways. You can directly talk to these AI models via whatever ways they are providing, or they are being offered as cloud services also. You can use that variation as well. And please be aware, these models are also available as open source. Means without paying also, for you can use these kind of models. Okay, and for major player for open source model tracking is nothing but Ollama. So this is the platform where lot of open source models are there. Open source means you can download it in your machine and you can start using these models. So Ollama is open source model without even paying any cost. No need to buy any account or any API keys or anything. Just work with Ollama, download the AI models and start experimenting with it. Okay, so this is nothing but open source platform for where the models are available. So please be aware. Okay, GenAI capability is nothing but generating new information. And for generating new information, multiple types of information could be there. Input could be different, output could be different. Spring AI is providing support for majorly these many types of model. And for each of these categories, yes, there are different providers. For example, if you go to chat model, now it is trying to compare. Different companies have given different models for chatting purpose. Likewise, different companies have given different models for embedding purpose, and accordingly for image also different models are coming. So accordingly, so different guys have done different work in multiple fields. So please be aware of that. Okay, now if you want to work with these, we will be today demonstrating two things. As part of today coding, we will be first working with OpenAI model for LLM model. OpenAI chat model we will be using. That is one. And next I will also demonstrate with, okay, Ollama, which is open source. And in Ollama open source, if you click on models, multiple people, multiple guys across the world have deployed their models here. DeepSeek is there, Gamma is there, and multiple other things. As part of this, Facebook, Meta company, those guys have also launched something called as Llama model. Okay, so open source platform where multiple companies have published their open source models. You can take it, you can use it. Okay, and you don't even have to get any kind of pricing involved in the journey. So Facebook or Meta has given something called as Llama model, which is again into a chat based category. So we will take demonstration of these two things practically. So if you want to work with OpenAI, so that is a paid one. So they don't have just open source free version available. If you want to even test one thing with OpenAI, you need to at least pay, I think, $5. $5 you have to load in your account. Then only you can work with OpenAI model for testing. Otherwise, it's not available. Okay. Otherwise, yes, you can use Ollama, and in that Facebook Meta has given Llama model. This one you can set it up in your local machine. Set up in your local machine and just experiment with it. But again, this is not going to be that great in terms. It depends how much size you are doing. Okay. For example, let's say Llama model, Llama 3.2 we say, or just observe. There are different variations for Llama model also, or let's say this 3.1. Observe Llama model. It's an open source given by Meta. It's trained this one on 405 billion parameters. Means very intelligent model. Accuracy will be good. If more parameters are there, means results are going to be pretty great. But in order to set this up, 243 GB size is required. So you can imagine, depending upon how big models they have trained, when you want to have this kind of a software, that much amount of space it's going to take, and accordingly processing power will be required. It should be a faster machines and all that. So, but yes, if some people want to use an open source related version, they can take these models, deploy it on AWS and those kind of service and see, but it is very space wise also tight. But for experimenting purpose, they have given some lightweight models also, something like only 1.3 GB. Again, by Facebook, by Meta, so we can rely on all these things. And they provided a smaller size. But you should understand, smaller size means accuracy of data. It will be decent. It will not be that great as what ChatGPT and other providers with heaviness will be doing. But at least for doing some programming and experimentation, this kind of model is also good enough. Okay? So there are multiple models available. So for our demonstration, we will be working with two systems. One is OpenAI. So even if, let's say, you don't want to set up an OpenAI account, still at least check it out how to work with it by watching this demo. And then definitely you should use this kind of setup today and do programming with regards to this Ollama Llama model, which is given by Meta company. So Ollama is the platform which is having multiple models available. As part of that, Meta has given this kind of a model. So there is a lightweight model. We will use this 1.3 3.2.1. It is still trained with 1 billion parameters. So it is going to be decent, but not that great quality, but it is okay for our testing. Okay, now let's start doing the coding using these AI models. Guys, are we clear with initial all the discussions that we did? Are we clear with whatever we discussed so far? And in the current times, every developer should know to technically work with these systems, not just as an end user of the world. You open this account. No, programmatically, how to operate with this, some kind of knowledge every developer should grow there, and then include in the resume and call yourself, yes, I can do AI programming and AI engineering also. But you should be clear with these models, how to work with it, how to do the setup, how to experiment. Thoda thoda kar lo and call yourself AI engineer. Remaining lot of topics are there, you keep learning it as it comes through. Okay, okay, chalo, good stuff everyone. Now let's do some coding with this. Okay, so let's do some coding around this. Before we start with the coding, I've arranged some code snippets also here, guys. I've arranged some code snippets. So we will take the support of this, plus we will take the support of Spring documentation. All these snippets I was preparing for today's session, so I read from the documentation, experimented everything in the machine, and then assembled it for ease of access for you guys. But this is all coming from some Spring documentation, multiple places here and there. I did some experiment, copied that code and made it available here. Okay, so we will use support of this my document which is created plus AI Spring documentation. But before we start doing our setup and coding with these guys, okay, let me just tell you how your next approach should be. Okay, firstly, start referring to these Spring AI. Spring AI, if you are very new to AI, you are not aware of technically how to work with these AI systems, so Spring AI is the great starting point. And even if you go to this roadmap.sh, so for becoming an AI engineer, okay, so this is roadmap.sh. For becoming an AI engineer, some nice basics and how all this works is going to happen is available here. So start exploring these things. Just see, a lot of these basics will be coming. What is an AI engineer versus machine learning, and what is artificial intelligence versus artificial general intelligence, LLMs. Some basics you start gaining through. Next, what are pre-trained models? Means it's already trained. So benefits of that, limitations, and some open AI models which are available. Next, go into exploring OpenAI platforms. So how to do coding with all of these OpenAI related concepts. Next, after that, it will come to AI safety and ethics. How you can make sure it is safe, it is secure, and some disciplines around that. And then open source AI, right? Hugging Face and all of these things. You can get some open source document access to these also. Next comes vector embedding. So while creating these kind of models, it is using this embedding concept, and it has some access of vector database is one of the features which these models use for training and other purposes. So then that will be further advanced feature. Okay, then comes RAG implementation, and then it continues working with AI agents and multi-model AIs. So it will grow. Okay, currently they have come up with this. As this evolves, this list will also evolve. So start working towards this also. Along with your application development skills, you should call yourself and this one also. Things are going to be complicated. It's not going to be easy to upgrade yourself into this. But that is where they say, previously you should really call yourself at least good prerequisites into this. Without understanding how to do programming, how to work on projects, without having these kind of skill sets, integrating and working technically with these, it will just go like a bouncer. So if you are not good with all these basic programming skills, adapting here is not going to work. You cannot use Spring AI if you're not good with Spring and Spring Boot related concepts. If you don't know those areas, you cannot reach here. So everything is a step by step. So what your mastery track should be: first, master yourself in core Java. You need to have strong core Java. Without that, you are not reaching anywhere. On top of that, you need to be strong in Spring and Spring Boot. Without that, you cannot get into anywhere. And then you further expand into Spring AI and then move it into the direction of AI engineer. Okay, and one by one you start learning all of these aspects. It will definitely guide you. So start with Spring AI as the beginning, understand everything, and then continue with this in the AI engineering roadmap, and then try to look for more resources. And maybe if you want to then later even explore on Python and other programming, you can go into those areas. There are some nice libraries available in these Pythons which can also help you. And then you can say, yes, I can do full stack development as well as AI engineering also. So work in this direction for the next coming 3 to 6 months, and your resume always should have these things. So at least do the basic, whatever we are implementing right now, and get all this knowledge of Spring AI, whatever we discussed today. Prepare to the level you can confidently use these terminologies during your interview times and include it into your resume. Okay, how did you do? What did you do? So practically include it. Okay, fine. Let's start building it. Okay, let's start building our use case using these kind of chat models. Okay, so a lot of tabs we opened. We need to work with chat model, and as part of that, first we will do some setup with OpenAI model. In the documentation, they clearly have explained about the model plus how to do the coding with those guys. They have mentioned all those things. Okay, so just referring to this documentation, multiple customizations you can do based upon these simple parameters. Okay, how to write some code, they have provided that example also, multiple things. Okay, so they explained a lot of things about this model. So I've not even gone through all of that, but just see audio output, how to get that, how to get this, multiple examples are there. Okay, so one by one you can start exploring. Firstly, we need to set up OpenAI. What will be required? You need to create your account on platform.openai.com. Okay, platform.openai.com, and then you need to go to some place like this, API keys. So I'm having some multiple API keys which are used for some experimentation purpose. But anyways, here, okay, you will not be able to use these keys if you have not loaded some amount, like $5 is the minimum amount which needs to be loaded. So somewhere I loaded $5 some time ago. Currently it is showing a balance available is $2, $2.55. But anyways, if you are willing to do that, use it. Otherwise, Ollama Llama model you take and start experimenting at the beginning level. No need to get into any of these payment things because you're just experimenting with right now. So OpenAI has provided a lot of features which will not be available in multiple other things. So in order to experiment those features, you have to definitely get to these guys because they are the market leaders in this model building. And so it's a big player, right? And right now they are even targeting India. So to test all those features, definitely you have to get into this. But otherwise, DeepSeek has also given nice open features, and that too with $1, you can do a lot of experiments with DeepSeek as well. Okay, so yes, a lot of things are available. But anyways, in order to work with this platform, yes, first open an account in this place. In order to work with OpenAI, you need to open an account here and then load 5 USD and then create API key. Using this API key, we can integrate or work with OpenAI system. Okay, so from the perspective of Spring AI, they made it just like any other integration. So it's not very complex from coding perspective. Behind the screen, it integrates with multiple models, but way of developing is very simple. You can work with AI models with ease. It's not complex. That is what they standardize it. If you learn Spring and Spring Boot, okay, no problem. With that knowledge itself, you can work with AI models also. So it's not complex. Okay, they created this kind of a library. If we go to what starting place, just observe. They simply created this ChatClient library. Using the ChatClient library, we can just, it has a lot of methods. Using this, we can work with OpenAI models. Okay, so one by one, let's start understanding it from technical perspective. So in order to work with OpenAI model for chat communication, OpenAI for chat communication, yes, first open your account here, load $5 there, create your API key there, then only you will be able to access the system. Okay. Second, way of developing. So you need to add, again, Maven we are using, to Maven form dependency for OpenAI. Okay. So for example, if we go into this, let's close this, let's close this, let's close this token, let's keep Llama open. If you go here, they're simply saying, okay, this kind of dependency you add in order to work with OpenAI. Again, Spring Boot starter. So they created starters. So we know the concept of starters. All the required dependencies, they bundle together and easily accessible. So kind of simple for developers to work with. So they have created a starter, AI starter, to work with OpenAI model. So step number one, you need to use this. Okay, so let's bring that change. Control Shift O, form.xml. Since we are making the changes for form, so let's just bring it down. And let's add this dependency for working with OpenAI related model. Okay, now comes the version part. Which version should go with this one? Okay, so what have they done? They are providing the version in the form of bill of material object. So for proper effective version control, they provided one more Maven configuration called as bill of material, and that is for version maintenance. Okay, again, you can find this information in their documentation somewhere. For example, if you click here, getting started, this is also a good place where you can do some getting started activity. In the getting started, they have given some example of this bill of material dependency. So you can simply use this dependency here. For version management, they are providing, okay, do it like a BOM dependency. So you go here and you add it. So it should be outside the dependency stack. So it is going to come here. Okay. Currently, it is giving some compilation problem. The reason being, we need to use the right version. So whatever they have done the setup, so that's not, so that is intermediate. It's a snapshot version. We want their live version, which is stable. And some time ago itself, we saw that stable version is 1.0.1. So we will use this 1.0.1 as the stable version which is available, and then put that version in this place for managing this dependency. Just see, all the compilation problems are sorted. Okay, so we are using OpenAI, and their version, they have created it via BOM dependency, and current stable version is 1.0.1. These things you have to see whether this is compliant with your Spring Boot application. So if you really check out this in getting started, the first thing itself, somewhere they are saying, okay, Spring AI supports Spring Boot 3.4. So if you are using anything less than 3.4, looks like Spring AI support is not there. So with the latest version, currently we are using 3.4 something itself. So yes, Spring AI capability is there with us. And further, right now 3.5 is also there in the market. So that is also having Spring AI support. Okay. If you are using prior versions, no, you will not have that kind of access. Okay, fine. Now, since we are using this, this is what the configuration. Let me paste this also. So you have to read the documentation, work with ChatGPT, and then try to build the application. Okay, fine. Let me put this. So this dependency. So once you added this dependency, basically OpenAI model effect is going to take in picture. Means what? Spring auto configuration will already start in picture. Means Spring will read that, okay, you want to try to talk to OpenAI. Spring starts. If you start this project, Spring is going to start creating beans, adding to the containers. So as a developer, you can use it to talk to OpenAI model. Okay, so we just added this dependency. Let's do a build package. Okay, right click, run as, v1 build, clean package. Okay, now this was expected. When we tried to build it, we know Spring auto configuration takes in picture, and now it is saying, okay, so you want to talk to OpenAI model, but where is your API key? So because we have not set up in the application, so Spring is automatically just stopping the connection because Open API key is not there. So without the key and initial setup, it will not work out. So generally what will happen when you go to this platform and go to the API key section, you can create a new API key, and then finally it will give you that key. You need to take it, use it in the projects wherever. Okay. Now the thing is, I have already created it. So let me just apply that key, but where to apply? In the documentation, they explained all those things. Okay, you can apply the key somewhere using just this spring.ai.openai.api key equal to, you just have to use this kind of parameter, and then you can set it. Next, please be aware. Okay, this OpenAI, this is the company who is developing multiple models. If you go to, let's say, let me open it in a different tab. If you go to models, OpenAI company itself is launching multiple models. ChatGPT 5, ChatGPT 5 mini. Okay, so there are multiple models. These are, what are models, guys? Okay, these are trained programs, software programs trained on billions of data, huge parameters, and now they can do reasoning, they can generate new things. And with every new version, they are developing better and better improved versions of models. Now the thing is, if you are working with these AI models, it is going to charge you depending upon which models you are using. Every model could be costlier than the other model. So if you are directly just including this kind of a API key, it will use some default model, whichever is available. What if it is using some costly model for you? So yes, there is a way you can change the model also. How do you find which pricing applies for which model? Okay, they have provided that under pricing section here. While working with the model, different, these are the multiple model names. They are launching all these multiple AI models given by OpenAI company. And what is going to be the charges for that? So they are just providing those details also. Okay. So now you can give this to ChatGPT and say, which one is the cheapest one so that I can use it for experimenting. But you should know, if it is cheapest one, means the amount of data which is used to prepare it, plus the number of parameters which are used. So if you use a cheaper one, so quality of output will be not that intelligent. It will be good enough, but not that great. So in the projects now, there will be analysis, okay, which model we should use for this chatting activity. So that kind of finalization should happen. Okay. So all these things, okay, which model to use, how to set the API key, all these configurations are in the form of some property files here. Okay, they have explained all these property files, what to use, how to use, kind of. Okay, so I have just explored it and just added, okay, we will just need these two keys. Okay, so we can go in our project into local and just add this. We just need two keys. OpenAI API key we need to pass here. Second one, chat OpenAI model, which one you want to use. So this nano one is basically the cheapest one pricing wise. So 41.nano, but still it might give answers not that great. So this is also still on a cheaper side itself, chat GPT 3.5 turbo. But if you start using the latest and all one, pricing will be accordingly. Every API call that you make to them, they are going to do some charging for you. So what they do is this $5 which you have loaded, with $5 you get some kind of credits with them. Okay, with this $5, how this actually happens and how much you are calling their system, using their system, accordingly you will start losing this money depending upon which model you are using and how much amount of data you are providing to work with these models. So $5 dal diye, and then based upon your usage and which models you are using, so it will be decrementing this amount till the time it becomes zero. Okay, so please be aware. So you should be careful, okay, which models are being used by you, and that you can finalize on this place. Give it to ChatGPT. Even for testing, use a lightweight model. 1-2 times, just do that. Immediately switch to Ollama. Use this only for testing the features given by OpenAI, which you cannot test it via open source models. So by that way, optimized, you can use these things. But let me try to provide this theory knowledge. Okay, OpenAI will charge your 5 USD, that's minimum. You can add more than that also, your choice. Will charge your 5 USD based upon, okay, which model you are using and how much you are using. Nothing but per request response. Some sense it will just continue calculating. So you can get this information under this pricing about the model related, and this is the names about the model, which you can put it into your property file depending upon which you find relevant. A nice less pricing wala will be either this 4.1.nano or even using a turbo model. If you don't set like this, it will take default, and if it takes the latest big one, so you will just lose your 5 USD pretty quickly. So be aware of these things. Okay, fine. Now that's it, simple. We can just set up the keys like this. We need to provide the valid key. Okay, right now I have already saved my key. Okay, so I will just get it from this place. So I will just get it from this place. And after the session is done, I will even be revoking it just in case, since it is copied and publicly available. So I will just reset this. So there is an option, okay, you can always roll it, change the key. So after the session, I will just roll it back. Okay, but anyways, API key we added and we said which model we want to use. Okay, so currently GPT 4.1.nano. Let's save these changes and build it once more. Right click, run as, Maven build, clean, package, go. Okay, now the build is successful. So what was our next step? So we add this. After that, you can do all this and add API key and your model in property file. It will take default model otherwise, and they might keep changing the default models. So again, in this documentation, you can take examples of these things. I've already arranged the form also, this configuration also, and given you these links also here, so it can act like helpful for you. Okay, fine. After that, build, and now we will start the application. So build is successful. Let's start the application. So that's it. Right click, run as, build, Spring Boot app. Let the app come up. Okay. Now you need to understand two things here: how to code or how to work with this library, how to work with OpenAI library. What these guys have done is they created a super interface, chat client. They created this like an interface, and whatever common methods that we need to work with, we can use it from this interface. Now, this concept we have heard multiple times, guys. They go Fluent API. Now, let's try to just discuss it for a minute. If I do an F2 here, it is explaining you, okay, client, this is chat client to perform stateless request to an AI model using Fluent API. Okay. Next, if you go to this REST client documentation, these guys are also saying, okay, the modern latest one is REST client, web client, and they are created on Fluent API style itself. REST template was on template method API style. These two things are Fluent API method style. So now more Spring is adopting to build everything in a Fluent API style. What is a Fluent API style? Okay, guys, it is very simple. It's not some very high funda concept. Fluent API simply means somewhere using it in this manner. This way of representation is nothing but like a Fluent API manner. Okay, calling it something like this is nothing but using Fluent APIs. Means all the methods and everything that they have written, it is all logically written the way you speak. Okay, get call to this URL and retrieve me, okay, the body, and the body is going to be string. So they created this kind of a convention, so ease of understanding for developers. So rather than every time saving it into a different variable and then doing that, they created the method names in such a manner that it is more readable and intuitive. This concept is nothing but Fluent API. Okay, Fluent APIs. So it is like method chained, and the naming is very logical. The way we speak, like that they try to create the methods. So just keep calling it based upon a chain. This concept itself is Fluent API concept. Okay, so accordingly, they have created this chat client library also as a Fluent API. Means you will again get something like this, a chain of methods you need to call, and accordingly some results will happen in the end for you. Okay, so please be aware of this thing. Chat client, it's nothing but a Fluent API implemented in Fluent API style. Okay, next thing you need to understand, there is internal concept, one more library called as chat model. So chat model library is very close, tight implementation towards the AI model. So in order to work with these OpenAI or any other kind of projects, you can directly use the chat model also. So chat model class, get an object of chat model type and then call some methods, and you can directly work with chat model to work with OpenAI. Okay, or you can use chat client. So chat client is nothing but it is more elegant, and Spring is saying better to use chat client itself, because if you're using REST client and other things, the way you are using this, similar way you have to use the chat client itself. So please be aware. You can work with OpenAI libraries. What is working with OpenAI libraries? We want to do these actions. We have some kind of a request with us. We want to call the AI model with this kind of request so that AI model gives us this kind of a response. And we will write the prompt in such a manner that whatever we give, we properly get the final response. So in order to do that, when it comes to Java programming, we need an object, and on that object we call some method. That is how we do, right? So which object is required, which method to call? Okay, so you need to have an object of either chat model. You can use chat model also and get the work done, or you can use chat client and get the work done. Chat client is what they are recommending. Okay, try to use it in this manner. Okay, and I think some time ago itself we came across this place, references, models. Okay, chat model, let's say chat client. Some time ago, a nice diagram came to us when we clicked on some of the section. Okay, as part of that diagram, they provided us with some view about how these models are there. Just observe. Yeah, this is the diagram, how they have implemented it. All these classes are nothing but model classes. Let's say OpenAI chat model, Ollama chat model, and Anthropic chat model, Hugging Face chat model. So there are multiple things. These all chat models are extending or implementing this chat model as their parent. So you can directly use chat model, but it is very much tied, the method namings and other things, it is very closely tied within these model namings. So instead of using the chat model, you can use it, but still recommendation is use the chat client, which is on the left hand side. Kind of, it is going to act like a wrapper, plus it is more easy to use, and it is built as per the Fluent API concept. So either you can use this, or you can use this. Recommended with Spring is ke bhai, go ahead using this one. So earlier they came up with this, then they realized more optimization can be done. Let me do more optimizations. Then they created this as a more ease of usage for developers. So please be aware of this. This is the recommended one. Okay, it's fine. So let me just take a screenshot from the documentation and put it here for reference. So you can use both. It works. Okay, you can use both, but the recommended one is chat client. And they created this entire section here. Okay, nothing but chat client API. How to work with this chat client API. So now they have given a very big lot of examples of how to use this chat client API for multiple things and working with the AI models. Okay, so multiple examples are here. Using all of these things, I have done some experiments and arranged some of the examples which we need for our project and ease of understanding. There are multiple things here. You can spend some time on this chat client library as well. Okay, let me put up this in the session notes. So chat client library. So you can use this, you can use this. We saw how the diagram is. Recommended is use this. More user friendly, methods are more friendly, and it is designed as per the Fluent API. Recent work from Spring is happening in that Fluent API manner. Okay, fine. Fine. So here we are. Now, what do you need? You simply need to create an object of chat client and use it in your project. That's it. Okay. Simply need to create an object of chat client. How do you do that? As simple as this one. So internally, Spring Auto Configuration is creating a builder. If you really remember, in our current code also, HTTP service engine, REST client, how did we create REST client? Nothing but REST client.builder was auto configured in our Spring Boot application. What did we do? that builder.build, and accordingly we got REST client. Similar concept these people are doing with chat client builder also. So chat client builder is already available in Spring Container currently in the project. It is up and running. Okay, chat client builder is already available. Spring auto configuration has done that. You simply take that object, call the build method, and your chat client can be created. And on this chat client, you can call multiple methods to directly work with the model. So what is our code snippet? We can simply take this is our code snippet. Okay, how to create chat model, working with chat model. Now let's apply it in our code. We will do all this invocation right now in payment service IMPL. So we go to payment service IMPL because response processing, our logic is here. So we will experiment with payment service IMPL right now. We are using regular R constructor. So everything is going to be injected to us. So from injecting perspective, we might have to inject a builder, and then from the builder we need to create the chat client. So some work is there. What I can do is, rather than trying to inject a builder, assign it to a chat client, I will create it like a Spring Bean separately. Okay, how? It's predefined. I will just go ahead with saying app config. Okay, and we will put this under dot config package, and we will make it at the rate configuration. We know Spring and Spring Boot. Here we will do this kind of a drama. Return chat client, and this we will just inject like this. Control Shift O, just simply return it. This with at the rate bean, we know Spring and Spring Boot. What happens is, when the Spring system is coming up, it is going to scan for any beans with at the rate configuration. In week 1, week 2, we have seen random, we did the similar manner. Predefined class, we want to create an object. Currently builder is available. When Spring is trying to call this method, because it is annotated with at the rate bean. So during service startup, Spring is going to see, oh, app config means some configuration is available here. It will find the methods which are annotated with at the rate bean. Then when it is trying to call this, you are saying in the parameter, give us a builder. Spring goes inside the container, application context container, sees, is there an object of this? Finds it and then provides it here. And then on that object, you call a build. This is created, and chat client object is also inside the container. You should be able to visualize what is happening. Then only you can work with these kind of frameworks, right? Spring and Spring Boot. Fine. So chat client is there. We have saved it. The service is up and running, means injection happened properly. This object is also available now in container. Once this object is in container, we can directly inject it in payment service IMPL here. Private final chat client, Control Shift O. Let the injection happen. Perfect. Everything is saved. There is no compilation issue. The service startup is also fine. So programming style, they kept it consistent, just like any other library for us, no problem. Any other library, any other method. And you already know how to work with Fluent API. We learned that as part of our HTTP service engine. You call one method and you keep calling, and it gives you the final output. You just need to learn this kind of style for working with AI models in chat client style. Okay, how to do that? The simplest way, these people have already given in the beginning portion itself, not this one. If you go to the main page, there itself in the end, they mentioned one simple example, something like this. You get the chat client object and just call this chat client dot prompt. You tell whatever you want, tell me a joke, something, and then dot call dot content, nothing but Fluent API. It is, the names are created in this manner. Okay, take this prompt, call the OpenAI, and then give me the content as a response. The naming is very self-intuitive. That is what is Fluent API. Easy to understand, easy to code. The way normally we talk to each other, like that they create method names and just simply said, do the chaining on that. So this is the simple first getting started example. We will just be doing this. What? Let's add a post construct, public void init. Later, first we will do experiments, then we will replace it in the functionality. Here we will just assign it with the @post construct, and let's just simply call this, and let's put some logger. Okay, and we will just see chat client dot prompt, tell me a joke, call and content, and we just print it. Let's see what happens during service startup. Okay, just observe. So we said, tell me a joke. Now ChatGPT AI model name is GPT 4.1-nano has said, okay, here is a joke for you, and it provided a joke. Okay, why did Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Scarecrow, right? But kabutar ko udane wala. Outstanding in his field. Some kind of jokes. But yes, the model worked directly. What did we do? It was simple. Just observe. It is Fluent API's manner of coding. So on the chat client, take this prompt and call OpenAI and give me whatever content as a response, and that's it. We simply print it. So just see, coding wise, they kept it so simple to Spring and Spring Boot way of working, and that is where they created Fluent API. So ease of use. So internally, you're working with the AI model, but programmatically very easily adopted, and that is where the initial description, what they said about GenAI, these guys. Okay, we kept it very simple. You can use it very quickly and get started. Okay, so here somewhere they explained it. Okay, very easy to adapt and easy to use. Spring AI is a robust extension of the Spring framework. It's designed to empower Java developer to create AI capable applications without the need of extensive reskilling, by leveraging the familiarity and the strength of the Spring framework. So you already know all these things, beans, this, auto wiring and all. Just take it, call it and go. That's it. Okay. So multiple AI features making it easy for developers to build intelligent applications. So it is pretty simple. We are able to already call the first API. Okay, guys, are we clear with this? चल गया पहला हो गया. So now there are multiple methods which we can use. Once this works, we can just simply use it. But now, before using multiple methods, we will set up Ollama, and then we will use Ollama. Then you experiment with Ollama. Okay? So OpenAPI might be a bit costly. So rather than getting there, Ollama setup karte, Meta ka model, and then use that one. Okay? So then you can experiment, because it is not going to charge you for anything. So this, at least it might have already charged me for this query which we have made to the system. So you should be careful. So I would not like to use this one. I want to use Ollama. Okay. How do you use Ollama? And in that we are using Llama model given by Meta. The name Llama, somewhere it comes like this. Okay. Large language model by Meta AI. Large language model of Meta AI. Something like this, the name comes in. We can simply ask this model itself, okay? Something like this. Who are you? What model are you using? Let's see what this guy says. ChatGPT is telling, hello, I am ChatGPT, an AI language model developed by OpenAI and based upon ChatGPT 4 architecture designed to assist with wide range of questions and tasks. How can I help you? So we can talk to the model. The model is now responding back to us. So we can do these kind of experiments here. Okay, fine. Now let's go further and try to work with Ollama model. Okay, so we will work with Ollama open source platform, which is providing Llama model. And we said we will work with 3.2 and the model which is trained with 1 billion parameters because it is of smaller size 1.3. So then you can do a lot of rest of the experiments with this client chat with that. So it will not charge you money. Okay, fine. How to do that? Simple, eh? It's not very complex. First, you have to go to this Ollama platform. Okay, first you go to this Ollama platform homepage. Okay, it is going to give you an option to download the software. So go ahead downloading the software. Using the software, depending upon your OS, step number 1 is download Ollama software. Once the Ollama software is downloaded, then you can download any other model also. Okay, so step number 1, you need to download the Ollama software, set it up as part of your path variable, whatever. So step number 1 is download the software, download and setup. Okay, download and setup. Once it is set up, in your command prompt, you can install any model hosted on this Ollama. So Ollama is a big platform. It has multiple models. Once you have the main software, now you can install any of this model. For that, some commands are there. For example, we want this model 3.2. So we will click on this model 3.2 and check the size is 1.3, small size. Easily, quickly, it is going to be developed, and some basic testing we can do based upon this. Just click on this link, 3.2 model. So once the main software comes to you, then you can navigate to this Llama 3.2 1.3 GB software. Okay, once you do that, just simple, this command you need to run it in your command prompt. So once the Ollama software is installed, you will get this ready the way we currently do, right? CMD, and then you do Java or whatever. Okay, so you can run these kind of commands because Java software is installed. Like that, once Ollama software is installed, you can just run this automatically. It will connect to this platform, download the 3.2 version with 1 billion parameter and get it into your local machine. So for the first time when you're doing it, it will take a few minutes of time. I have already installed it. So second step will be, first it will try to download. Second step will be, it will try to run it also. So we can simply copy this command and go there and then simply paste it here in our command prompt. Run this. It is trying to activate. That's it. Now local AI model is running in your machine. Okay, now you can talk with this guy. Okay, tell me a joke. Chalo. It started preparing a joke for you. So now this is not going to cost you, but it is an AI model having some intelligence, not great intelligence, but at least some intelligence. You can use it for your experiment. Okay, next you can say, who are you? What model are you using? Just see, I am an AI designed by Meta, and my primary function is to assist and communicate with users in a helpful, engaging manner. My current model is Llama, and which is nothing but large language model Meta AI. Okay, so that means it's already up and running. Few details. Now we need to run. Just think, it is a different software. There is nothing big about it. The way your Java application connects to database, the way your application connects to another API, another microservice, the way your application connects to, let's say, Redis cache outside. So like this, these are outside systems called as AI models. Your Spring Boot application should be able to connect with them. There will be some way to do it. We just have to find it and use it. Now, this diagram that we have pasted here, it says the beauty of working with this system is once you learn to work with ChatClient, using this APIs itself, you can work with any of these models. So you don't have to work with different methods. Same thing applies if you work with chat model also. One time, standard definitions. You don't have to work with individual model methods. These are standards. Even chat model is standard, chat client is standard. Chat client is more user friendly. But please note that, what is the point we are making? Any model you change, your way of coding remains the same. Only configuration information you will change. Maybe POM dependency, maybe property file. But your Java code way of working with these models remain the same. They created that as a standard. So easy for developer to work with any model. Currently, you are using OpenAI. You want to switch to somebody else. Okay, that is built into the design of this. You don't have to import also these other classes. These are standard. You can just use it as it is. Okay, that's great. That's very good. Powerful thing they have done here. Again, they have learned it from their past history of 30 years of Java. Okay, yeah, that is the right way to do, because more and more vendors and models will come. It will change, but our standards should remain the same. Developers should work with this, not with these internal stuff. Otherwise, you have to always keep changing. Very, very smart design. And they applied this design at many places in even SLF4J and other places. Java guys have done that already. Okay, fine. So now we want to switch to Ollama model. What steps have we performed so far? Let's see. Already I have documented it here. So Ollama, it's an open source platform where multiple models are available. Ollama is nothing but it was founded, it came up like a startup organization founded by these two guys somewhere around 2023. Okay. And on this platform, multiple models, okay, multiple models are contributed by various organizations or some individual developers. For example, Meta AI has released these Llamas 3.1 and 3.2 on that. And how to download? Yes, first you download that. After that, you go here. It is 1.3 GB. Just run this command, and yes, it is available for you. Okay. Now what happens is, we need to want our Spring Boot application to connect to this. So at least I will take these things in our notes, so it is handy for you. Okay, once you are on the model, you install it. Next, there you go. Now we want our Spring Boot application to connect to this Ollama and inside that Llama model. Okay, so they have given that also as a, where is that? Okay, models. We'll keep this open. This is OpenAI. We will open one more. And let's go to Ollama model. So they have provided here Ollama. Just see. Under models, under chat models, we want to now work with Ollama. Any AI model which is hosted on Ollama, you can just have it like this. They have given some instructions also of how to download and how to have it. You can run it as Docker containers, and multiple other setups are possible. Okay, once you have your Ollama, in order to work with that, you need this kind of dependency. Okay, you need this kind of dependency. The version maintenance you don't have to do. BOM is going to take care of that. Bill of material will take care of that. You just need this dependency. So what we will do is we will take this dependency. Okay, second thing, let's go to our project pom.xml, and we will first comment this OpenAI. This is how we comment in XML. And now we will say use this one. You can use multiple models also. For that, some additional configuration is there. You can use OpenAI at the same time and also have Ollama at the same time. Okay, for that some configuration is there. You can refer to the documentation and get that. But for now, we will just stop this one and use this one, Ollama. Okay, fine. It's not giving any compilation problems. So same BOM dependency takes care of even this configuration. That's it. Save. Okay, that's it. Save. Now, one thing you try to understand here, if you go to OpenAI documentation, just see the base URL, it is trying to connect to api.openai.com. Understand these things from diagram perspective. You are writing your system, and in your system currently, how are you able to get the response from OpenAI? Okay, OpenAI system is deployed somewhere across the web. Now, in their domain mapping, they have provided this one, openapi.ai.com. So programmatically, internally, we are using client library, but that actually goes to that client library is going to go to this class OpenAI chat model, and in this somewhere they will have the code where they are talking to these people. They have the code somewhere where they are talking based upon this. Okay, so we have used this internally, and this is nothing but going to some DNS mapping. DNS mapping will be there where left hand side is going to be this one and right hand side will be, let's say, some API gateway or load balancer which is set up by OpenAI company, and then accordingly we will be talking to that. Nothing but it is hosted somewhere in the world and we are able to get the advantage of that. Now think about it. What is this Ollama? It is another software which is running in the local machine. And you know basics about software. Whenever you run the software in a local machine, it occupies a port. So you have to define where is your software running, what is the port. Then only you can connect with the software from your Spring Boot application. So that is what, just trying to tell you the point. Currently, we are running it in our local machine itself. Ollama is coming in our local machine itself. So it is going to have a server which is localhost, and it will occupy some port as well. So if you really go here in their documentation, you will understand the default port for Ollama is this one, 11434. That is the default port. So when you are starting it, it basically does it here itself. Internally, Ollama is running here. And inside Ollama, we are executing Llama 3.2 model. 3.2 model. Okay, now there are certain configurations to, we have to now properly connect to this Llama 3.2. So there are certain configurations for that. We can just go here. So first step, add Ollama. Second step is in the property file. Okay, so default is this one, but again, you can explicitly do this. But main important thing is you need to specify, okay, we are using Ollama model and our chat model option is this one. How did we find this? Nothing but in this place. Whatever is the name of the model which we have installed, that itself is the name that we need to specify here, okay, which we are using for working. Okay, this one itself. So we will simply take these two configurations and apply it in our code. So form dependency is done. We saved it all. We go to local. We don't want OpenAI. So we removed OpenAI. We removed OpenAI related configuration. Now we are saying we will use this one. This is Ollama configuration. Okay, Ollama for Llama 3.2. Okay, so available, it's running in this place, and it is this model we specified. Save it. Okay, so let's try to clean and build it. So we made a change. So form.xml change, we commented it out. So everything is saved. We just close this. We cleanly start it again. Right click, run as v1 build, clean package. So instead of doing clean package, there are other options also. Maven update, this, that. You can do multiple things, but always make sure you are cleanly doing that. So one is clean package whenever you make a change. Okay, done, executed. Build is successful. Now bring the application up. So now it is empowered with Ollama. Okay, Llama 3.2 version. Fine. Okay, just see. Again, the startup has happened. Payment service IMPL. Here we are saying, who are you? What model you are using? So currently, chat client is nothing but enabled with Llama power. Llama stands for Large Language Model Meta AI. So same code, which was earlier working for OpenAI, just by changing the configuration, now it is working for this place also. So even if you are not setting up OpenAI, no problem. Llama, you set up today and do this experiment. Guys, are we clear with this? Llama installed, ready. So it will not charge you anything. 1.3 size is also small, and you are able to run it also happily in your local. Spring is able to talk also happily. Port number, you have to be aware of that. Super, super. Okay. Now we will straight away take 2-3 examples and how we want to use it in our project. So there are n number of depth into this. Okay, but 2-3 simple example we will take. How we are going to use it in the project we will discuss, and then we will end it. Remaining of the things, it's up to you now. Explore. Okay, and whenever I do more experiments, more use cases, I'm continuously checking with other people like my friends and other guys who are working in different places in IT. Some across in US, some in Europe, India, may multiple companies. So I'm continuously discussing with them to what extent AI is being used for day-to-day development. But the thing is, some projects have started using AI, all these models and other things. Remaining closest possible, people are saying we just have Cursor AI or GitHub Copilot, that kind of developer assistant experience. Majority of the companies adapted, but this model related working, few projects have done it. And that is where, if you go to LinkedIn, AI engineering is just at the beginning stage. So right now itself, you do all this and it will give your profile good value. And I think more opportunities will start happening once more projects start using these kind of building. So currently industry is also switching. So you also be along with that ready. So when more openings comes, yes, you will be the person for that. But gain all this strong knowledge, guys. Stay updated. Spring AI has nicely documented it. Read everything, understand everything. If you're not understanding, give the links to chat gpt and bolo simple, make it simple and explain, make it simple and explain, but don't leave the topic. Okay, get full level understanding, because market with this is required and many are not having it, right? So you be special there, better chances will automatically happen. Backend plus this, so it will be nice selling you. Okay, fine. So chalo abhi bas 2-3 example we will do and then we will continue. But right now Llama is already up and our Spring Boot application also using. Okay, now this is one example of how we can work with chat client, right? We simply provided this example: prompt, call, content. Okay, there are other ways. Okay, you can call prompt without passing any parameter, and then you can do user and pass this prompt as a user object, and then remaining remain same. This is another variation. Okay, what basically is this concept? If you remember, when chat gpt and all came in the beginning times, it came with this concept of And right now also it is a very established field, prompt engineering. Nothing but how to write prompts. The full science is there behind that, prompt engineering. If you really remember, beginning time where people might have told you, okay, in order to get proper output from AI engines, AI models, you can say, okay, you are a, let's say, doctor. Okay, you are a doctor specialized in so and so stuff, in XYZ, whatever, and then you put query. So if you do like this, your model will give you more accurate answers. So you might have tried it also. So it works differently. When you give a context to the model, because it is trained on huge amount of data, in that data you are saying, hey, now you are a doctor, answer to me like a doctor. It starts giving you more precise talks based upon a doctor. So the models, you can like squeeze more output out of it by giving them a context, and then you put your query. This is how the prompts are designed. Okay, now from Spring AI terminology, they are saying, okay, we can call this as, okay, message roles. They are using a concept called as message roles. For example, this message where you give an instruction to the AI model, that they are calling it as a system message. You tell AI what that is. And this query, the actual question which you are putting, you tell it, it is a user message. So these libraries have introduced, ChatClient libraries has introduced a concept called as message roles. And this message is called as a system message. This message is called as a user message. Accordingly, they have created methods for that. For example, you can do something like this. Chat client, let's directly do it in the code itself. You can simply say chat client.prompt, and instead of passing it here, you create it empty, and then you do dot, just say it is giving suggestion of system, but we will straight away, let's say, use user, and inside you provide your text. Nothing but this becomes your question. So as a user, you're asking question. So let's put that. Let's see what this guy does now. Okay, just see ChatGPT response. Why? It is telling us that only. One liner. I am an artificial intelligence, llama, blah, blah, blah. Because we have asked a question, it is processing it and it is giving us some output. Now you can make it more, okay, specific by giving a system instruction. So like this, as something. You can tell the model, start behaving like this. How do you do that? Okay, you can simply say here, okay, dot system. You are a helpful assistant. Let's see, if you give, you are a helpful assistant, now more context is going to AI system. Now when this query happens, let's see what it gives. Okay, helpful assistant, it is giving the same. Let's say if you change this, okay, you are a technical assistant. Let's see what it gives. Technical assistant. Just see, it is taking more time to process. Again, it is lightweight. Okay, it is running in your local machine. It is trained on something. But just observe, we asked it, hey, now you are a technical assistant. Just see, it changed the answer. Now it is not saying that helpful assistant or easy to understand. Now it is getting into more technical. This is what this guy is saying. I am an, just observe, I am an AI designed to provide, let me copy this to add more readability. But as soon as you said you are a technical, it became more technical. It became more technical for us. What this guy say? I am AI designed to provide information and assist you with inquiries to the best of my abilities. I am large language model trained on massive data set of text from internet, books and other sources. My model is based upon transformer architecture, which allows me to process and generate human-like language. when you interact with me, I am using specific version of transformer models that's been fine-tuned for conversational purpose. This means I can understand and respond to natural language queries in the way that naturally and engaging manner. My goal is to provide accurate, helpful information while also being mindful of the context and the nuisance of the conversation. If you have any specific questions, nothing but dimag ka dahi kar diya, right? So with system, you can give context to the model. Hey, you are like this. You are a technical assistant. And then we ask the same question. Model behaves differently. So that is where the way people look at these models is like unlimited source of knowledge. Prompt engineering is that skill of how do you extract maximum out of this knowledge by giving the context, by giving the prompts, by giving the inputs, and all that. Full section came like prompt engineering for that. If you go to this roadmap.sh, if you want to just go to this roadmap.sh, okay, so there is something like, I think, prompt engineering also here. Prompt engineering. In order to become a good prompt engineer, there is a roadmap for that also. So there is multiple technologies, concepts around that. So it's a big field in itself, but get the point here. The entire response changed because we just added one more instruction. Hey, you are not just a helpful assistant, you are a technical assistant. So our expectation is tell us things technically, right? So this is how they have provided. This is another example where you can instruct the system to behave in certain manner, then give your queries, and then this is the second variations of this. Okay, so it will give you more from technical aspect. Okay, fine. So next example, the first example, simple one, was from only user aspect. So this was from user aspect. And if you see, it took more time to come up with a technical response also. User response, fatak se deta. So not trying to evaluate. Now again, back to simple user response. Okay, fine. Now we will look at two examples, and in that our experimentation will be over. One example is, okay, while passing prompt or message, give some dynamic parameter. Nothing but whether you are calling system or whether you are calling your user message, you can pass some dynamic parameter here. Okay, for example, you can say something like this. You can say something like this. System, let's remove it. And user, you can say message is like this. My name is, and then you give a placeholder. Okay. Wish me something. So like this, you can form your content with replaceable parameters. And then how to set the value of this at runtime. So your prompts will just behave like template. And this concept is nothing but called as prompt template. It behaves like a template. It is having certain placeholders. And at runtime, you can pass the variable value here, name, and accordingly, the model is going to reply back considering your input. And again, they have given some example for doing that also as part of this documentation somewhere, how to get that kind of prompt template back. So they have given something, prompt templates. Just see how to use that. Just with user, when you are passing the message, use a lambda expression and pass it. While working with REST clients, we use lambda expressions. They are saying, instead of message, don't just give a string message, you use a lambda expression. In the lambda expression, using this text, you are providing a message with whatever dynamic value. And then after that, you call the dot params, and then you can keep providing all the parameters that you want. Okay, for this composer, what kind of message name you want to use? So this is the variation of how we can do it. Okay, I've already provided some sample example here. Okay, so we can just check that out. using something like this. And instead of writing the line, prompt line directly as a text parameter, I have just put it as a separate string field and then used it like this. So this is how you can work with prompt. So this is also a common practice. So we will just go here and we will say, let's remove this. And now we will give this context. So this becomes our prompt message. Now in the user, rather than giving string, they have provided multiple overloaded methods. They are expecting consumer interface. So consumer interface is a functional interface. We can directly implement a child of that. So we have implemented the accept method inside that. And then file implementation, they are expecting, okay, we just set these two values and we have done it accordingly. Let's put a, okay. So what is happening? So call content. So put these things, copy this code properly. After call, we need to even have dot content. This is our entire code and we can replace it here. Okay, Control A, Control I, save it. Let's see what happens now. So we need this dynamic nature for our system. We need a dynamic parameter. Just observe. We ask Kivai, tell me the names of 5 movies whose soundtrack was composed by some name of the composer. And here we just I just took it from Spring AI documentation. So this aga, you put your Indian composers there, and some accordingly movie names will come. But just observe, it just found some of the names of the movie and is mentioning it here. 5 movie names. Means dynamically to this prompt you can pass a message. So this is the example of that. It is already there in the documentation also. You can replace parameters. It's very handy thing which we need to use. Okay, now comes our project use case. Okay, we need to just use this variation. That's it. Maybe you will put a system. You will put some system for asking more technical, precise information. And you just need to put the right prompt and it is going to give you the output. That's it. So we just need to use this. What is the prompt that we are thinking right now? Something like this. This one is our prompt. This is our prompt. And we will give it something like this. Given the following JSON message from third-party API, read the entire JSON and summarize in one line. We are trying to give detailed prompt instructions rather than ChatGPT ko we just told something and it gave, because this is a very latest model. Patak se bana lega. But when you are doing it in code, you need to be more precise because AI can give you back whatever. What if it gives me a link or a web page or many things? So output of AI we need to really control when we use it in the projects. Readability wise, fine, whatever it gives. But when you are doing it in code, you need to have it structured properly. So for that purpose, we are going to provide some instructions like this. Given the following JSON message, which we are receiving from third party, okay, read the entire JSON and summarize in one line. And instructions that we are putting is, okay, put a short, simple summary which exactly represents what error happened. Max length of the summary should be less than 200 characters. Otherwise, what if it explains too much? It's AI, it can give responses like crazy. Next, keep the output clear and concise. Don't complicate it, simple. Summarize as message that we can send in API response to the client. Don't point, because sometimes there is links also. Links are there in our JSON. So we are just saying, don't point any info to read external document or link. And we are putting a replaceable parameter. This becomes our prompt template. And now inside that, I just took an example of a JSON and just see, we are simply using, okay, system, you are a technical analyst which just returns one-liner summary of the JSON error. So we are just giving it more context. So now you, the coder, thoda sa prompt engineering sense should also develop to you, because AI can give you a lot in back, but you need to have these things very clear so that you can get proper things out. Now, if you are struggling to do that, okay, you can ask AI itself to write a proper prompt for you. Okay, you can simply ask ChatGPT here, I want to write a prompt so that in my Spring Boot application, I can get one liner summary and I will give error JSON to AI model. Okay. Now you can give instructions. I need max length of string as 200 characters. Now even AI will help you to write the prompts also. You don't have to really learn now how to write prompts. AI can guide you. You put your broken language, whatever is running in your mind, to AI, and let's see, it will try to structurize it. Okay, summarize the given JSON. Okay, so like this in one line, it did not give it too descriptive as per instructions. Okay, summarize the given JSON, max A. So it still tried to provide it more simple. So, but yes, play around with it. It will start improving in the responses. And now then a point will come when we can use AI knowledge plus our knowledge and work with this rightly. Okay. Now, if this is not clear to you, you can further ask AI, okay, give me as list of 5 instructions. Give me prompt as list of 5 instructions, which is very clear for AI model to generate the error summary. Okay, now like this it is saying. You are saying, okay, now you can say write Java Spring Boot code using ChatClient, which takes this prompt, and in prompt the error JSON should be available. Let's see what this guy says. Prompt, it created a prompt. Error JSON, it is doing something like this. Okay, it did not use it as a replaceable, it did it differently. It simply as a string format. Okay, so it used your simple Java library itself. It did not use to replace it as a parameter. So what we are trying to do in this example is, okay, take that user and pass it like not directly string, but pass it as a lambda expression and then replace the parameter. But what ChatGPT gave the code, it prepared the string itself in a manner there itself you dynamically replace it. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. But the right way as per recommendation is you give the template directly to this and then you give the dynamic parameter also directly. So this is how they have recommended to use. So rather than trying to concatenate and prepare this string in this manner. Okay? Anyways, so just observe, you can play around and get the right prompt messages back. Now we will just simply take this kind of prompt message. We'll just simply take this kind of prompt message and use it in the code. So currently error message I hard coded. Okay, since we are doing some experiments in this prompt structure, error message we have hard coded like this. This is hard coded. When you put it into project, this will come dynamically. HTTP response.get body. It will come automatically in the project. Fine. So here we go. Here is the error. And let's see what this model now returns for our functional requirement. The model is processing our request. It is trying to read the error. And now just see. It gave you a one-liner. Now it read our error JSON. I've already provided that sample error JSON in our code snippet. So it read that error JSON and it now providing us like this. So this is the AI generated summary. This is AI generated summary. Okay, Stripe API returned invalid request due to missing parameter like this. Now, if you feel now, again, this model is a small model, lightweight model. So accuracy of this, again, you can start doubting. It might relax a bit, use something which is not very greatly professional. So those things you expect from the model because it is only for testing purpose. When we go to production, we have to use some relevant proper model which will give us very precise information. So the right balance between cost of those models, how much will be the monthly cost, how much will be the utilization, that cost analysis will happen before we really choose the model for the production systems. Okay? So, but accordingly, it is giving us a dynamic message. So what was the prompt? This is the prompt for us. I will paste this. It's already there in the document, but I will still paste this entire code snippet here so that you can also play around with these things today. Okay? Now we just need to use it in the project code. Okay, how do you use it in the project code? Kuch nahi, yahi copy karna hai, nothing more than that. So we copy this, go to our method where we have done our project functionality. Here we need to prepare this dynamic message. We can just create another message, not to complicate the current thing. Okay, we will say prepare error summary message, and you give your response and you expect string error message equal to like this. And now you create this message, and then we go inside this method. Now whatever experiment we did there with OpenAI, we can simply put that piece here. You need to make sure your error JSON, now you don't have to hard code this, it was only testing earlier. Now your error JSON will be http response.getBody, getBody, and then it is going to be your error JSON. You take this, you pass it here, your text is going, and finally this response which is created, we can simply print what is the generated response. Don't call it ChatGPT, it is AI model response, okay? And then we return this string back. So this becomes now functionally, it is integrated into our code. This prompt with the description, with our error message body. This error body is dynamic based upon the project flow. And then we have replaced, we are telling it, okay, you are a technical assistant, which just returns one-liner summary of the error, JSON error. You can write the way you want it. Okay? And once it comes here, we will take it, pass it, go. Next, we are calling this at this place. And now, instead of using this hard-coded value, we will be using this error message. We will be using this error message, which is generated by the system now. And better to log this code which is coming. Log this one. Let it run. Everything is saved. Server is coming up. Server is coming up. Okay, now let's do the testing. Let's do some testing now. Okay, so here we go. Same request in Postman. We tried this a couple of hours ago before jumping into this Spring AI. We tried this and we got key. Okay, to do this was generate the message from AI. Now we have generated it. It's already running in a running mode, but I will just skip all breakpoints just in case and just call it. Just observe. It gave a response. Okay, now you have to think what is wrong with this response. Why these special characters? So it is something like this. You have to just check it back in the logs. Just see. Just observe. Okay, AI model response. The point is that guy gave the response as a double quote. before and after, AI model gave it as a double quote. Now, if double quote is being passed through the net, basically it gets appended with this kind of slash. So now one of the instruction in our prompt generation will be, okay, don't put it into double quotes, give us the direct string. So then AI model will not give this double quote. So it will be a direct string. But just observe, the remaining thing came properly. It's a dynamic message based upon this one. Now, if you keep trying multiple times, maybe sometimes it will start giving you messages differently. So you can expect AI models will behave differently for the same input request. That's the nature. Okay. However, let's try out. We will not pass currency. Let's don't pass a quantity right now. Okay. Let's not pass a quantity right now. And let's try to call it. Oh, yesterday we implemented a code for quantity check. So quantity is not the right placeholder. Let's avoid product name. And let's try this one now. Okay, just observe. This time it did not generate that double quote, as if it listened to our words. Nothing like that is happening. It's not listening to our conversation. It's just, now model is not sensing all that. It's just a model sitting there, but it did not put the quotes. But now observe, the API encountered invalid request error due to insufficient product or product data information. So Llama model is trying to do its best. Again, it is a basic model, very small size, 1 billion parameter itself. There are some things with huge parameters, massive size. Those will give very accurate information the way you want it. But now we are able to see these messages are coming dynamically. Okay. So guys, let's take the attendance. We will be closing the call today. One thing you have to be aware that it is taking some time to generate this error response. Okay. Now, again, while trying to consider which model to finalize for production, this will become part of the analysis of model. As an AI engineer, you should know pros and cons about multiple model, which model is best for what, how much is going to be the costing of that, how much is the accuracy rate of that. So you need to know about these models as an AI engineer so that you can make that decision. Business does not know which to use. They will ask you, hey, technical people, tell us which models are good, which should be used for what cases, how much pricing is going to happen, in how fast the responses will be. Okay, how much is the timeout rate? If some models you call and they don't respond back with data, that's a problem. So as a technical expertise, you need to cover all these things. And you can come up with some backup options also. Let's say while you are trying to call this prepare AI, put it into a try catch. If there is any exception, AI is just timing out and throwing an exception, no response. Do you want to then continue with default? Or you can set up mechanisms for how long you should wait for AI response. If for 3 seconds response is not coming, just disconnect the flow, return a dummy error response, and put up a warning that AI is taking more than 3 seconds. So like this, fail-safe mechanisms might also be required. Because AI is still like models and all that, which one to use, how accurate it is, that is all part of analysis curve for the developer. So some backup options. Don't blindly start using it like an API call itself. No, it is AI. Results can be massive different. It can give you images back if your prompts are not proper, right? So image aa gaya, abhi yahan pe baitho, image ka kya kare, right? So be really careful with the models when you are using it. So be accurate with it. Fine. Let's take the attendance, and okay, I will paste this Stripe AI link. Okay, it's there. I will just paste it later. So please mark your attendance and then we will complete the call. But all the very best. Definitely in the next coming 1 to 2 years of time, you will see a lot of things happening around this, lot of development roles happening around this. So you should be ready for that and get busy in upgrading yourself in both the areas. So you are ready for the next change which will happen. The job market will slowly pick up and more AI positions will start opening. Still, companies are not that widely using it. So start gaining the skill set right now. It will be helping you as you go forward. Roles have already started emerge, but not very extensively. So when I talk to 10 people, maybe one guy says, okay, yeah, we are thinking of getting these kind of coding opportunities. So it's like that right now, the market situation. Okay. So even in US, so it's not like, it depends on which companies are doing what with AI kind of, right? You go to Facebook, Meta and all, they are like heavy work and research work going into these areas. Not all the companies are doing that much, right? So it depends. Okay. So different companies, different situations. Chalo guys, all the best. Please take this code for today, 6666, and here is the link. I will share all these details in the WhatsApp group, and tomorrow we will connect of how to add the project in resume and how to explain during interview. That topic is there, week number 4, day number 5. Okay, so important day, and we will be ending the sprint 1 tomorrow. Okay guys, the remaining 2 APIs we completed. One API integration, create session. The remaining 2 APIs, get session, expire session, you follow same principle, and before Monday you need to complete that. Okay, so we are not going to do live development for the get and retrieve because it will be similar. I will already come coded on Monday, and then I will demonstrate that this is what is the code for that. There is nothing new left for implementing it. You can do it by yourself. This entire week we implemented one API, create session. All that knowledge will be required for get session also and expire session also. So you have to do that. 3 days are available. Okay, so please make sure you are on top of your game. So thank you everybody for your time. Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow 10 a.m. Bye bye guys. Take care. And AI is going to definitely come into development field. So must have guys. Don't skip it. Don't say nahi karunga. Opportunities will not come. Market will change. The application development will become basic. Roz ka kaam ho jayega. The way people learn core Java, like this, they will say application development, what's the big deal? Because AI, using that, you can do it. But using this AI models and all the other functionalities, you have to grow. Right now, we looked at it from chat perspective only. So immediately your focus should be, okay, what are all these other features? What is portable API, structured output, vector databases, tooling and function, observability, ek karke, all these are AI features now. We just touched 1 year. Now get started, dig into more and gain more knowledge into all of these things. Once you're done with that, then go to other areas. Okay, so chalo, all the best, take care of yourself and have a great day guys. Thank you, bye bye. Stopping the recording. Thank you all, take care of yourself. Bye bye. My team, take care. And then stopping this also and stopping this as well.